Live from the Loop Studios in Mendon, Nevada, it's the Gen X Talks podcast.
Making plans with the boys. I'm gonna hit the town. Yeah, I'm gonna make some noise. I'll push past the pain and my wounded pride. I'm gonna live it up. Yeah, stay out all night. But sure, I've had some better times. And I can't count all the tears I could write. And maybe down my list. Yeah, but the blues to me just fine.
I'm not doing it. Doom, diddy dome, diddy dome, dome, dome. I can't tell if we're going or not. Looks like we're going. It says recording on the pod track is moving up and down the Streamlabs. For lack of a better terminology, is moving side to side. Dome, diddy dome. It looks like it's going. Can I see? Can I see? Can I see? Is it too loud? Not too loud. And it looks like on KGXT radio, we have 5x5 on my end. Now let me go over to the Discord room. Why on earth would I be going to a Discord room during a podcast? Well, that's usually Gen X Mom's area, but Gen X Mom is not doing well today. No. I'd like to say, well, I wore her out, if you know what I mean, but we all know that's not true. She's just sick. So what I can do is I can go to the Discord room because her faithful and loyal servants, the court jesters, as I call them, she calls them her Queen's Court. It looks like they're over there right now. I gotta find it. I don't have a KGXT room. There's no KGXT room on my screen. Am I not allowed? Do I not have permission? KGXT Studios, there it is right there. Okay, let's see. Now I'm in. Oh, let's see who's here. How do you tell who's in the room? How do you tell who's actually in the room for that? I can't. I see the chat, I think. KGXT Studios podcast off the record, KGXT Live. Okay, so a big N with thumbs up. Sorry, Mary Mathis, Christopher Sevick. They're saying something, but I can't tell what it is. I don't know. Spot and Stock said 5x5, so we're good. If someone says 5x5. Oh, Christopher Sevick making fun of me over there in the chat room. What a trained broadcast professional. Christopher, let me explain something to you. Trained broadcast professional on the podcast side, all right? Have nothing to do with being in Discord. For those of you who don't know what Discord is, that's just chat rooms, discord.gg/Gen X Talks. And what is that? Well, that's just a chat room during live podcasts. That way you guys can participate because we're not broadcasting this live on YouTube or Rumble or anywhere else. No. Although you guys, I accidentally hit the button. I streamed one last week or the week before. We actually got pretty big numbers on it. So I don't know. This was supposed to be a big push for the radio station. Keep everything on the radio station. Make sure you plug in the radio station, which you're listening is kgxtradio.com. It's free. It's awesome. It's great. You need to check it out. But I don't know. Maybe there is something to that. Maybe there would be something to put in the podcast live. The video, because we put out the video version later. Yeah, you can watch that later. We pull it down off where it is when we plug it into Spotify, where everybody can listen in. But now, Little Miss Hot and Nerdy has demanded that we do the video version. So all interviews, whether they're on Zoom, whether they're in person in the studio in downtown Reno at the Wank Studios, or if we do them here. Everything's got to be videotaped and put up as a videotape option. I was made fun of last week, and I was hammered into the ground about it. So I don't know. I guess a couple things may change on that, but we can push in that direction. All right. So as you guys, all of you who are following along, you're dedicated and loving listeners for KGXT and Gen X Talks. This is the Gen X Talks podcast. If you're watching this on the video version, after it's out, you got one big fat guy right in the middle of your screen. Why? Gen X Mom is down for the count. Now, let's talk about Gen X Mom for a minute. Why? Well, she's not here. That means we can say whatever we want, and you have to take it at face value. She's not here to defend herself. I normally start out by saying, welcome to the Gen X Talks podcast. It is 4 minutes after 10 o'clock, broadcasting from the Loop Studios in Mendon, Nevada. But I didn't say that today because I follow up with, I'm here in studio. Across from me is my lovely and talented current wife, and she's not here. She's sick. She was really concerned that she might be sick and dying. And she's not normally that way. She normally doesn't come out with those things and say, oh, I'm dying. Get me to a medical helicopter quickly. This time she was just concerned because The aches and pains have been going on for so long. Dr. McDreamy assures me it is probably nothing. He had her blood work done recently, a couple days back, and we'll get to that in a minute. And just flu going around. I guess a lot of people have had it all over. Some of our staff have been really sick with it. So she's just recovering. But MarcyZavala.com, who we ran into the other day, said she had it. It was like a week long. So I don't expect this to pass in 24 hours. We did miss last night's OTR off the record show, only because she was at a point where I needed to take care of her. If she calls, I go running. And can you guys imagine in the middle of a show, throwing down the headphones, spinning the microphone out of my way, and darting off camera to go take care of my wife? No. Not exactly a good idea. So what we did was we postponed the show. We'll reschedule that. I don't want to miss that show. I don't want to skip that show. I don't mind if we have to reschedule and do it on a Sunday or something. I want to keep the content so strong. We've gone 4 weeks. Every show has been solid to great, in my opinion, and your guys' feedback has been invaluable with that. I don't want to let up. I don't want to be known as a channel that, you hit, you miss, they're there, they're not there. No, I don't like that. So most of you guys know that we try really hard to make sure that we're here all the time on purpose, and we're trying not to miss anything. Okay, so what are we doing there? Why is it there? Why is it coming up on my screen? A telegram pops up on my screen. God bless it. All right, I'm trying to do your mom, as they say back in junior high. I'm trying to do the job of Gen X mom. Be careful. We'll defend her until the end. Spot and Stock. Guys, is there a way to put that motherfucker in a timeout? He's in there Spot and Stock's got his sword, his shield, and defending his crown, but I didn't see him buy a sticker. I mean, a magnet. Yeah. We got magnets out there. Yeah. Did you guys go to the website and check out the merch? There's team things. Queen's Court has a bumper sticker style magnet that's just badass. In fact, they all came out pretty badass. But I don't see Spot and Stock buying a magnet. So, you're not that much in support. You talk a big story, Spot and Stock. But all right, moving away from the chat right now, going back to the things that are important. Let's talk about labs. Finally met someone I didn't like. No, that's too harsh. I finally met someone in Northern Nevada that was a little bit grumpy. I'm telling you, everybody I have run into in Northern Nevada since we've been here. We rented this place for a couple years while we're building a house, as most of you know. And so we rented it a year ago, but we've only lived in it for about half a year getting our shit together. And everybody I run into is so pleasant, so nice, so wonderful, so kind. I'm sure there's bad people in Northern Nevada. I'm sure there's disagreeable people in Northern Nevada. I have not run into any yet. Nobody's rubbed me the wrong way. Nobody's been an asshole darting into a parking spot before me, grabbing the gas pump handle before me. Never. It has not happened. Happened in Southern California my entire life, but not up here. But I did finally run into someone who we butted heads. I got to tell you. I'll tell you the story real quick here. If Gen X Mom were here, this would be one that she would have less of a funny tone, more of a serious tone backing me up on this. She was there. Dr. McDreamy told us to go get our labs done back in June, so we got right on it. And here we are in the middle of February getting our labs done. Right on time, doing our part, as they say. We went into Powell Labs, which is pretty close to us where we live, pretty early. It didn't come right. We didn't show up right when they opened, but we weren't far off. All right. And we go in there and we punch the thing and you put in your license, you put in your insurance, and you sit down and you wait. And there's maybe a couple people in there, and they call Gen X Mom. She goes back in, gets hers done, and then they don't call me. More people come in and sit down. More people go before me, and they don't call me. Now, 20 minutes in, I'm like, hey, 20 minutes, I should say 20 minutes after Gen X Mom got her blood drawn, she tells me, hey, she probably messed up. She thinks because our first initial and our last names are the same, she probably thought she double entered us. And you need to go up there and say something. So I politely walk up and I wait at the window and I said, just want to make sure I'm still on the list, that, there wasn't a mistake. She goes, yeah, I know who you are. You're on the list, but you can't go ahead of appointments. I said, okay, I wasn't trying to, I was being polite. I wasn't trying to, but okay, just want to make sure that I'm still there. I'll go wait. So I wait another half an hour. After that, after the 20 minutes after Gen X Mom, we'd been there 10 or 15 minutes. Then Gen X Mom goes. 20 minutes after Gen X Mom goes, I go to the window. 30 minutes after that, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? So I walked back up and I said, I'm just asking. I'm trying to be very polite because she was very short with me this last time, and she was about the same age as me, but she was curt. Being curt, it would be the nicest way to put it. And she goes, you can't go as a walk-in before scheduled appointments. And I said, well, the scheduled appointments just keep walking in. I could be here 4 hours. I mean, if you're waiting for I'm telling you, if you're waiting for a gap in people, that's probably not going to be one. And I said, and she just looks at me with a stare like, I told you what's going on. You're not going before them. Go sit down. So I go sit down for maybe 9 seconds, and I got back up. Gen X Mom grabs me by the shirt, and I'm not, no, let me fucking go. I walked back up, and I said, okay, could I please make an appointment for another day? She goes, no, I don't do that here. You have to do it online. I said, okay, can I have my paperwork back, and I'll just come back? And she looks at me, and she says, well, you want your paperwork back? Yeah, I'm leaving. I can't sit here all day. You're not giving me any indication of when I could be slipped in between, appointments. So I can't just sit here all day. I'd like my paperwork back. And she goes, do you realize that I have to put the paperwork in every time you do this? So if you leave, it takes me 20 minutes because your doctor and your wife's doctor wanted so many labs done. We had to draw so many labs and label all those vials. Now, this is what she told me. I would have no way of knowing how their procedure works. I'd have no way of knowing what they're talking about. I don't know their stuff. I'm not making this up. She goes, so it's just on my part. It's 20 minutes to do all this work, and they have to do all these labeling of all these vials or blood draws or whatever word she used. And I looked at her, and I got to be honest, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I would submit to you that maybe I lost my shit a little bit. Because she lectured me on how this all works, how much time it takes, how inconvenient it is for me just to be a walk-in on her because of all the work she has to do. And I looked at her and said, well, that's what the money's for. That's why they're paying you. To sit there at that fucking computer and type. That's your job. All right? Give me my fucking paperwork. Now, probably didn't say it quite that harshly, but the lobby took notice. But I just, please give me my paperwork. I want to just go. So she hands it back and she has things highlighted. And I mean, she didn't throw it at me, but she snapped it to me. You ever have someone hand you paperwork where they jerk it when they shking, schmack? And I see if you're doing it on the camera, you can see it. They here, and the paper snaps as they're holding it out. Yeah, it's kind of like that. So we got in the truck, and of course, Gen X Mom's being real quiet because I'm a little bit steamed, and she knows that, let me cool off a little bit. I said, I'm never going back to that PAL lab again. I don't care if I have to drive to northern Reno. I will go someplace else. I'm just not going back there. That is the first inconsiderate or rub the wrong way person. And I got to tell you, if that's the worst thing that I run into in northern Nevada, I might as well call this heaven. Because that's nothing compared to the treatment, day-to-day person treatment that you get in the Southern California area where I was, grew up, just so you know. And I've lived lots of places. I lived 2.5 years in Las Vegas. I lived 9 years in Central Oregon. Central Oregon had some very nice people there. I mean, just salt of the earth, good people. And then a lot of people from the big city came in with big money right as I was leaving. One of them bought my house when I moved out, and it was a change in vibe. And so I make sure that when people know that I've moved here, I'm like, I did not move here to change you people or change this town or this area. I came to fit in. I say those words out loud, that I'm here to fit in and I want to be part of this community. I'm not coming here trying to change it to where I came from. How does that sound? How does that fit in with a national narrative right now where people move to our country and want to change it to where they came from? Not me. No. Not me at all. So there's my lab story. But I have to go get still got to go get my blood drawn. I got to go down there and do that. I've just been running out of time. So had some notes here to talk about. Oh, I know. See, something I was going to argue with my wife about, but she's not here to argue. So I'll get to argue with you folks. I'll even look in the comment section. Maybe I can argue with someone. Who can I argue with in the live comment section? Who's in here? Gen Z Kid, new to the podcast as my dad reads his channel. Yes, Gen Z Kid, who's supposed to be working right now. Now, see, here's the crux that Gen Z Kid is in right now. Here's the dilemma. I'm reading a comment live from my son who's, hey, I'm new to the podcast. What's going on? And I would say, quit listening to the podcast and get back to work. Now, he could get a call from his boss, Ben Matlock, who's never lost a case, by the way. But then if he calls up the kid and goes, hey, turn off the podcast and get to work, the kid would say, well, how do you know I'm listening to the podcast? Perhaps you should be getting back to work. Now, Ben Matlock's in a catch-22 on that one. If he actually calls the kid or the kid's supervisor, you got to be careful there, Ben. You got to be careful, big boy. You might get yourself caught in a catch-22. Anyway, so that's what we're doing. I'll look in here and see if we can argue with someone. Let's find someone to argue with. Oh, Two Bear just gave me the big middle finger. You know what? That's secret code because, well, he secretly loves me. And the middle finger throws all of you off when he gives it to me, but that's his way of telling me in his heart he loves me. When Two Bear gives me that bro hug, we haven't done that in a while. When Two Bear gives me that bro hug, he whispers in, he goes, I love you, man. And I said, I know you do. I know, you can't help it. And I tell him, I point to my face and say, look, I can turn this down, Two Bear, but I can't turn it off, okay? I know you love me, buddy. So the middle finger lets me know he loves me, just throws you guys off. Okay. So what was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, time travel. We've talked about time travel stuff before, so I won't bore you with all the complicated details, but I will remind you, I've had 58 laps around the sun, all right? And I believe there are two ways to time travel, period. I've seen all the documentaries out there. I've listened intently to all the documentaries, Back to the Future and others. There's lots of, in the Final Countdown, there's others. And I think I've come to the conclusion, as your trained broadcast professional, there's two ways to time travel. One, scientifically, all right? There's math. We can already go forward in time. We know that. You can talk to Neil deGrasse Tyson, and he'll show you there's a mathematical way. We've done it already. We can travel into the future. And, you know, the math, then you just extrapolate the math out. How far in the future do you want to go? Okay? It has to do with speed of light and time slowing down when you travel near the speed of light, things like that. But the scientific way, that's one. But the other way, and I think this is the more common way we all look at time travel, is to find it accidentally. You're traveling through a forest and you lean up against a tree branch and the tree branch moves and a hole opens up at the root of the tree and you crawl down through a time warp. There's accidental ways. You can find a billboard out in the middle of the desert that has a painting on it of stars. This whole billboard, nothing but stars in space. And when you line it up correctly with the actual stars in actual space behind it, when you can fit that billboard perfectly, when you stand and keep moving around until you lined up to the actual stars in space and it fits like a puzzle piece, the door opens up. I think there's accidental ways to find it, okay? I think I found one. We talked about that before. For about 10 or 15 minutes of my life, went through one. We've spoken about that. But the thing I want to get to is, the most important part is, you guys keep offering proof that there's never going to be such thing as time travel because no one's here. No one's here that ever says, well, look right here, I'm from the future, I'm from the past, and there's no real evidence of a real time traveler. Oh, there's stories. I see the stuff about the guy who's traveling through time and posting on the internet. All right, maybe he's true, maybe he's not. But you guys offer that as proof. You guys literally throw up your hands and go, hey, man, look around. You got your arms spread wide. Where's the time traveler, man? If it's true, why aren't they here? Why would they be? You guys offer nobody walking around right now as proof of time travel. I'm telling you that's proof that there is time travel. You're offering it as proof that there is not time travel. All right, think about it this way. Someone from the year 3000 develops time travel or finds time travel and goes into the past. Would you stop in 2026? Would you stop in 2025? Would this be a destination? No. No. I mean, other than somebody coming back to meet me for 5 minutes, why would you stop here? What for? You'd go right back to the 80s, the 70s, wouldn't you? Maybe the 50s? Why on earth would you be here? No one from the future is going to stop here. There's not going to be any proof of a time traveler because no one's going to hang out here. No one want to be in this time. What for? All right. What about someone from the past? They wouldn't know any different. They wouldn't know not to come here. They wouldn't know in the past if they started in the 1930s and they developed time travel. They wouldn't know not to come here to 2026. But they would after 5 minutes. They would after 5 minutes of hanging out and just watching what's going on. Literally, I could spend half a day in 2025 or 2026 and go, I'm out of here. No way. There's got to be a better time period than this. So you have time travelers that could be bouncing all around from the future, from the past, and you guys offer it to me as proof. Well, no one's here. Why would they be? There's not going to be any guys here. They're all going to go on. Yeah, there you go. There's your proof. You can write that one down. I gave you that one for free. All right. You're welcome, America and Denmark. All right. Let's do a Briggs update. Michael Dawson's Briggs update. He loves a good Briggs update. The only thing I got about Briggs is Briggs is doing some stuff. There's stuff I shouldn't talk too much about his personal life. I love my son very much, and he's going through some growth changes that are just amazing to watch as a father. Maybe a little later on in life or as time goes by, I talk about him individually. I don't want to spoil him for him either, but I'm so proud of the things he's going through and the dedication, the young man he's becoming. The only thing I can really bring up is he loves his job. He gets up. He doesn't miss a day of work. He's not late now. He had a problem being late a few times at the beginning, but he tightened up his belt, and he's doing his job, and he loves working there. And then you guys know he works for Ben Matlock, never lost a case. But the thing comes up, I thought it was a funny story that I could tell you, is that you guys know that he went back east on a road crew. They do a travel crew where they do some special stuff. You know, it's been my experience through life. Maybe you guys would know a little bit about this, and maybe it's still the same. But if you can assemble a team of guys that is willing to live out of a hotel and work on the road 6 weeks here, 6 weeks there. You go to Ohio, you go to Pennsylvania, you go to New York or Georgia, wherever they want you to go. Once a guy gets a good crew like that, he doesn't want to let them go. Those are like hot shot crews. They come in and they are a good team. They're focused. They knock stuff down. It's hard to build a good crew to be on the road. It's being on the road is not a life for everybody. It's different than trucking. Trucking's a very you got to want to be a trucker and okay with that life. You got to make yourself okay with it. But it's even more different being a hot shot crew in any form of construction because you're not on the road every day looking at new things. New cities, new stuff. No, you're stuck in a hotel room by yourself for 6 or 8 weeks. So Briggs did that once, and he really liked the experience, but he wants to come back and work for Ben. But there's a guy who every now and then leans in and goes, hey, you want to go on the road again? And what Briggs says is, you go check with Ben. If Ben wants me to go, I'll go. Ben doesn't need me, I'll go. But I'm staying here. I'm loyal to Ben. He tells me that all the time. But he's almost going to get caught in a catch-22. Now, let me explain. So, Briggs wants to be loyal to his boss, Ben Matlock, never lost a case, like fiercely loyal, loves the guy to death. But if the other project manager comes in, I forget his name, and says, hey, you want to go on the road? And Briggs simply points and says, you go check with Ben. What's to stop the other guy from being a 12-year-old kid and leaning in Ben's office and going, hey, Briggs said he'd go on the road. It's okay with him if it's okay with you, which is not what Briggs said. But you could kind of taint it that way if you wanted to. Now, I don't know what the project manager says to Ben. But I texted Briggs. I go, you better go to Ben and say, just to be clear, it was not how I'm putting it. I'm not saying, yeah, if you can get me out of here, go talk to Ben. I'll go if Ben, you can get me out of working for Ben. That's not what Briggs is saying at all. And Briggs is like, well, should I say that? Should I not say that? I go, you need to tell Ben that, when somebody asks, hey, Ben, all I'm doing is pointing towards you. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with what I'm doing. So Ben knows where you stand, because it's real easy for someone else to come in and go, well, he said he'd like to go, but you won't let him go, or he'd like to go if you'll let him go. It's you got to be clear. You can end a friendship over that stuff real fast if you're not super clear. So I told, that's the only thing, but I like it. The reason I bring that up is I like it that Briggs is doing well enough that Ben wants to keep him right where he is. I like it that Briggs is doing well enough that somebody else would like to steal him away for 6 weeks. I'd like it that my son is, being requested a little bit, not just like, we don't want him. Not even asked. I'm not asking that guy. I'm just saying there's some stuff there to be had, but he's doing a good job. He comes home, and one of the things that my wife and I love so much is he comes home and he does his thing, spend a little time with his dog. He takes a shower. He has his dinner. He talks to both of us about his day, and then he goes and he reads in his room, or he watches a movie, or sometimes he plays video games, but he's happy. And as a parent, that is such a good thing. You'd almost spend your last dollar making someone happy like that. So just letting you guys know that's a Briggs update on there. So I gotta talk to you about something here, and I'm gonna ask a couple questions. In changing how I'm eating, going back on my diet again, the Fat Guy page is up and running, but I didn't tell anybody, so nobody knows. I wanted to know if drinking orange juice was okay. Because no matter what I pick out there, Dr. McDreamy always goes, no, it's bad for you. It's all sugary stuff. No matter what I pick. What about this? What about that? No, can't have that. So I went and I was drinking some orange juice from Costco, and it says 100% orange juice. Now, Dr. McDreamy has taught me to read ingredients. And I found, I had something the other night. I looked at this thing. I was like, okay, I got to nuke this thing real quick. And I looked at it on the ingredients. I counted 78 ingredients. And I'm like, oh my God, there's nothing on this thing that is reasonable at all. I looked at it and went, oh my God, Dr. McDreamy's going to have a heart attack from 40 miles away over this stuff. But I looked at the orange juice, Kirkland orange juice, and it just says made 100% with orange juice. And then I went online and said, well, I just Googled it. How pure is this particular orange juice? And it's like, yeah, other than being pasteurized, it's 100% orange juice. And I thought, well, okay, so I know kind of what pasteurizing is. We all learned that in school. And I guess it does diminish some of the vitamins. But does pasteurizing, do they add fake sugar to it? Do they boost the sugar? It drops the vitamin content, and it doesn't taste like freshly squeezed. Let's all get past that. There's nothing like freshly squeezed orange juice. And growing up in Southern California, I promise you I know what I'm talking about. Okay? That was super common. You could get oranges from a guy selling them on every freeway on-ramp in LA, for $3 a bag. You could have freshly squeezed oranges anytime you wanted. So it was around a lot. But so I know this doesn't taste the same, and okay, it's pasteurized for safety. I got that. But how good is it really? That was one question I wanted to ask Dr. McDreamy. The other one was I was reading an article about some guy who passed away, and he had 90-year-old eyes. He was dying at 90. He donated his eyes to somebody. And I sat back and I went, wait a sec. How can you donate? Aren't your eyes almost worn out? You wouldn't donate a 90-year-old heart. You wouldn't donate a 90-year-old kidney. But the guy was like 89 years old, or 90 years old, maybe it's exactly. And he was able to donate eyes. Those didn't wear out. So there's a couple things there. And the reason I want to talk to Dr. McDreamy about both of these. One was the orange juice factor. The other one was, and here's why. When it says it's 100% orange juice, what does that mean exactly? Because, okay, let me back up. McDonald's says, hey, 2 all-beef patties right here. Here's your all-beef patties. And we all know they're not all beef. They're not. But McDonald's opened a company called All Beef Patties. They make their own meat. They chemically alter and design and fabricate meat. And who fabricates it for them? Well, they own a company called All Beef Patties. So these patties could be not even, they could, I'm not saying they are, I'm sure they have some beef in them, but they could be completely homegrown, scientifically constructed beef patties, and you're eating it and I'm eating it, and we think it's all beef patties because that's the name of the company that made it. In other words, if the company that makes their beef patties was called Sugar Mattel Electronic Patties, their advertisement could read, hey, these hamburgers are 100% all sugar beef Mattel Electronics patties, because that's the company that made it. Kind of tricky if the company producing it is called All Beef Patties. They're made by All Beef Patties. Are they really all beef patties? Well, not the way I'm thinking of it, but on paper, I guess they are, because you guys made it. I don't know if I can. I'm going to try to give him a call. You want to try to give him a call? He's packing to go somewhere again. Who knows where he's going? He's always on the road. He's probably doing fight stuff. Let's see if I can hear myself. First of all, I can hear myself. All right. Let me see if I can call Dr. McDreamy. Ask him about 90-year-old eyeballs. Let's talk about pasteurized orange juice. Yeah, got a question about that. And there it is right there. It says Dr. McDreamy. Why? Because my wife puts it in the phone. That's why. Otherwise, I just have it by his name. But no. Do it her way. Let's see if this comes up. Can we hear? Look at that. Let's see if Dr. McDreamy's busy. Hello. And it's Dr. McDreamy. Hey, how's it going this morning?
Good. You didn't answer my text. Are you live, or what are you doing here?
We're live on KGXT Radio, so we do have listeners listening in, and we have a room full of people in chat. And then we're also recording it, so it'll drop later. So if you're going to start yelling at me, you're really going to hurt my feelings.
Well, that's what I need to know that before I lay into you here.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Put up your guard.
First of all, your text said, "Are you available from 9 to 10?" And it was like 9:38.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm available right now. But, okay. Anyway. All right.
Yeah, I should have said 10 to 11. That was wrong. I didn't mean 9 to 10. I meant 10 to 11. You see,
It's your time travel stuff again.
Yeah. Listen, so, we're just, I don't know if you were listening in to the podcast or not. I know sometimes you and your wife, marcyzavala.com, you guys listen to that the next day when you're walking. But a couple things that came across my desk that bothered me. You've got me in the habit of looking at ingredients on everything, not only before I eat it, but before I buy it. Your one rule of thumb years ago was 4 ingredients or less. And now you're telling me don't unwrap anything. So I walk into a grocery store and it's like, there's nothing in here for me. But one thing...
You're going to the wrong sections.
I probably am.
Go ahead.
I went to, we just got orange juice from Costco and the Kirkland brand. And it tastes okay, but it's not like you and I grew up in Southern California. We grew up with fresh squeezed orange juice. I mean, there was oranges all the time. So you and I know exactly what that tastes like. But this, I looked at it, and the back says ingredients 100% orange juice, nothing else. And I went online and I thought,
that's a lie.
I don't know. So I went online. I said, is it really 100% orange juice? I just kind of Googled it or asked AI, like, well, what is this? And they're like, well, it's pasteurized, but yes, it's 100% original, orange juice, like nothing added. But it does taste sweeter than, a different sweet than orange juice. And does pasteurization add chemicals? What am I missing here, Doc?
Yeah, they're adding a bunch of chemicals. But first of all, while I lay into you here in front of everyone, I told you don't drink orange juice. Orange juice is given to hypoglycemic patients, people with diabetics with low sugars in the hospital. There's a reason why they give it to them in the hospital. It raises their sugar right up. So you don't need that.
No.
You don't. So that's number one. But secondly, to answer your question, it's loaded with preservatives and fortified and all these things thrown into it. Otherwise, it just wouldn't last. It's just not something that people should be doing. If you really want something, just go get an orange and eat an orange.
Okay. All right. Then that's the way to go, because, we can just juice them here. We ain't doing nothing anyway but sitting around staring at the TV all day anyway.
See, but no. Like I said, you don't need to do that. You in particular don't need to do that.
Well, so I got to eat an orange? I can't drink an orange now? I can't just stab a straw into the orange and drink it?
Actually, I don't know. We were Marcia and I were talking about you this morning. She went and bought some A2 milk, and you're so crazy about your milk, and I'm sure you're still having it. But A2 milk is different than regular milk because it has a different protein that's not going to be bad for your gut. So, but I know when I tell you this, that means that you're going to drink a gallon a day.
No, I quit. So, I stopped the other day when you and I texted, and then we had dinner the other night. I quit. I just like no milk, no soda. I went back on that. I did that for 9 or 10 months.
You quit 6 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
You keep quitting and starting again.
Well, no, I know. I keep working on it. I'm not saying I'm good at it. I'm just saying, but I did 3 days ago. It's just like, no, I'll pass. I don't like the way I feel again.
If you go get milk, go get some A2 milk. Okay?
A2 milk. Who has that?
Yeah.
Where would I get that?
Anywhere. It's something that's well known now.
All right. So here's the other one. And there's so many things that came up, but you and I should save it for a podcast in Reno in the studio sometime. But there was an article, a guy gave up, people get ready to die and they donate their organs. All right, I got that. But a 90-year-old guy, nobody really wants his heart or his liver or his kidney. He's 90. But yet they're like telling me that they take eyeballs from people in that age bracket and they'll save them and they'll pass them on to people who need them. How can eyeballs not be wore out, but everything else can be? Does that seem right to you?
Well, I mean, in some people, of course. I mean, there's certain people that just don't get cataracts, certain people that don't get macular degeneration and all the other things that happen to the eyes. So if they took them out, obviously they're not going to put some, glossy colored cataract filled eyeballs back in somebody else. So, they're going to check it out. Yeah.
But that's plausible.
Is your question, are they going to wear out quicker? Is that what you're saying?
I just didn't think it was possible. I didn't think that was even a consideration, but apparently in some situations it is.
Oh, if they can resurrect a woolly mammoth now, I mean, they can do pretty much anything.
That's true. Yeah. They've come a long way since them making Dolly the sheep when we were growing up.
Exactly.
Yeah. I haven't unloaded on Gen X Mom yet, but there's another fear. She's going to start paying real close attention to her gluten intake and stuff like that. It's just a fight, and I got to tell you, I don't lecture her. I don't bother her. She's the most stubborn woman I've ever met. And I love her deeply, but I leave her alone. If she wants to eat poorly and feel, have pain, it's like, well, you know where it's coming from. You did it to yourself and you're doing it, so I won't bother you. But now it's causing her to be sick. So then I stepped in and said, you're going to have to change some stuff. Doc says you got to change the way you eat. But here's a new nightmare. They're now making paper plates that are like biodegradable or almost edible. And those paper plates have gluten in them that gets on people's food. And I'm like, okay, that seems dumb. But even if it's true, how much gluten could come from a paper plate? But I'm just like, there's
not much.
I was going to say there's another nightmare. Something we have to test our plates before, if you're going to go to a picnic.
No, that's not an issue. You're not going to be ingesting the plate. So that's not I'm not worried about that. I mean, there's bigger fish to fry.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. But that's another nightmare. It's like, Jesus, we got to worry about what plates we're eating off of too. This is ridiculous. So anyway, All right, listen, so you're packing your clothes, you're getting out of town. Where are you going this time? You're always on the road.
We're leaving in 20 minutes and we're still working out right now and I got to shower and we got to go. We're going to Vegas.
Oh, you fight stuff,
We're going to fight.
We're going to fight.
Yep.
All right, well, Doc.
Fight stuff, and it's Valentine's. We're going to dinner with my son, his girlfriend, and their parents. We're meeting them for the first time. Which is really cool.
Far out, man. Well, make a good impression. You only get to do that once.
I think that's on my son, not me.
Yeah, that's true. All right, look, we'll let you go, Doc. Thanks for letting us bug you and call you and filling in some gaps on some things. We got more questions, but we'll save them for later. And we'll catch you on the flip side, my friend. Have a good trip.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye. And that, as they say, is Dr. McDreamy. Yeah. There were some things on my mind. The orange juice was a big one, but, and on the back of the bottle, 100% orange juice. And then quickly he debunks that. Quickly, he's like, no, it's not the case. Don't do it. Quickly. So, then The other one too is that, how can you have old parts like that? And you can almost see Doc shaking his head going, look, man, they're doing some amazing stuff these days. We're really getting accelerated in what medicine and what science can do. And, he keeps up on all that. That's the one difference between doctors that get older and they kind of just stay in their lane. They've learned what they've learned and they stay in their lane versus young doctors who grasp everything, read everything, test everything. And look at Dr. McDreamy is one of the guys who's like, well, I may be getting older, but that guy's up on all of it. He reads, he listens, he knows the stuff. He's in the middle of all these things. So when he speaks, I listen because he really puts his best foot forward, not only with where we've been, because he's lived the last 30 years being a doctor going through it, but he's also on the edge of the cutting edge stuff. And, you also know when he's one of the top fight doctors in Las Vegas, when you see all the big fights, the UFC, the heavyweight bouts, he's always on camera. He's always right there. I guess there's 19 fight doctors down there, and the top 4 are always on the big events, and he's one of the top 4 guys down there. He's on the edge. He's listening in on cutting edge sports medicine stuff. You have to. You're just part of it. You're part of that community. So you get a lot when you talk to Doc on that stuff. So I'm thankful that he called. Okay. Don't. So where were we here? There was more stuff. Yeah. Speaking of sports and sports medicine, so you guys know the quarterback for Seattle Seahawks was named Sam Darnold, and some guy we don't know and just bounced around the league forever, and all of a sudden he pops up in the Super Bowl. Did you guys hear? I'm not talking sports here. Did you hear what California did to him? It's gone around the internet for the past week like crazy. Did you hear what they did? Now he plays for the Seattle Seahawks. Got a $100 million contract. Okay. He does not work in California. He doesn't. His job is in Seattle. Now they fly him to different cities. They fly him to different states. Him and his football team, as you might expect. But when he comes to California, if he's in California for 3 or 4 days, California charges him income tax, like he's working there as a subcontractor working there. Yeah. Are you listening? I don't know if this is true with electricians. What if Briggs goes on a road crew to California? Does he pay California tax on his paycheck? I don't know. But Sam Darnold goes in. The Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Every person on the winning team gets a $178,000 bonus. All right, very cool. But California says, well, before you go, you were here a week. You got a $100 million contract over 1 year or 2 years or whatever it is. We're going to divide that $100 million contract up by 52 weeks a year and however long your contract's for. And he had to pay, plus, his bonus that he won, $229,000 in taxes. It's right close to $229,000 in California tax because he worked at his job as a football player. He was in town for a week working. That's what he owes on his $100 million contract to the state of California. So even with his bonus of $178,000, he still owes $40,000 to $50,000 to the state of California just because he was in the Super Bowl. It would have been more than that if he'd lost because he wouldn't have got his $178,000 bonus. He still would have owed the $229,000 based on his $100 million contract. How ridiculous has California become? And I can talk shit about California. You guys can't. You guys can talk shit about California from what you see when you put your hand to your brow and you look out over the horizon and you shake your head. Oh, California. That's about as far as it goes. Other than that, shut up. You didn't live there. I lived a ton of my life there. I can speak on it. I just recently moved from there. I can speak on it. You can't. I love California. California is my favorite state. I love everything about it. If you guys haven't ever watched the sunset into the Pacific Ocean, if you've never had the salt air by the pine trees driving up Interstate 1, Coastal Road 1, Highway 1, if you haven't done that, you know what you're talking about. If you never woke up in the morning in the high deserts of California and seen the entire sky all purple and pink and orange, and you reach out of your sleeping bag and you feel the sand is cold in the morning, If you don't know what that's like, shut up. You don't get to say California sucks, because it doesn't. I personally think that when God made the earth, he knelt down and kissed Yosemite Valley. Yeah, true story. Now, I don't like the politics. I don't like the regulations. I don't like what people have done to it, homelessness and crime. That's what people have done to that state. I don't like that part. But I'd put California as a state for what it is up against any state in the union. And I mean that. And even twice on Sunday. All right, just letting you guys know. We did do some research around here. Gen X Talks, we're constantly grabbing the bricks and throwing them against walls and eyedroppers and all sorts of stuff. Did some research for you. Just letting you guys know, for those of you that like Butterfingers, I don't eat Butterfingers anymore. But for those of you that eat Butterfingers, I want you guys to know they're mostly peanut butter. And just a little bit chocolate. So if peanut butter turns out to be good for you, then that peanut butter turns out to be good for you. It's healthier than a Reese's Pieces, because that's more of an 80-20 split, and a Butterfinger's more like a 95-5 split. Just so you know, it's more Butterfingers are more peanut butter. So there you go. It's healthy. If there is such thing as healthy peanut butter that's processed that has 95 chemicals in it. The other day, I got a text on my phone. Reno Police Department texted my phone. Immediately sent shivers up the spine of Gen X Mom. She says, "What did you do?" I said, "Nothing. I didn't do anything." "What did you do?" "Nothing. I'm fine." Turns out that talking with Reno PD on Instagram through Instagram Messenger, their Instagram site, and I'm sure they got a kid running, their social media or their media outlet department for Reno Police Department. And when I say he's a kid, he's probably an officer of the law, but he's younger than me. Anybody younger than me is a kid. Anybody older than me is an old man. It's just the way it goes. But he was very excited, so he texted the phone, and we talked on the phone about us helping them do some things around town. We can bring our canopy. We can give away some T-shirts and stuff and try to draw people to their events. I don't mind doing that. So we'll see how that goes. But, I guess he checked into our channel and loved the stuff he saw. And we know some of the same people. Let's see. How do I describe this? My wife's niece's husband. I don't know. Does that make him my nephew by marriage? My wife's niece's husband. I'm not. If there's a word for that, I don't know what it is. But whatever the word is, that's the guy. And that I mentioned his name because he spent 20-some years in the Reno PD, and then he's retired and he's moved on. And I've met him a few times. I don't know him that well. He's a very nice guy. But that I mentioned his name, and the kid who came back and he knew the name. He knew the guy. He goes, "That guy is a legend around here. He's a rock star." I don't know what that means. I don't know what he did. I'm going to find out. I want to ask. But my wife's niece's husband, in his career in Reno PD, really, really left a good mark on everybody up there. So that sounds good. But that's why they called. That's why they were on the phone. Just so you guys know that it wasn't just talking out my ass about stuff. No. Also, you guys have been bugging me, and this falls in the category. I don't know why you guys just don't email Little Miss Hot and Nerdy. If you go to the website, genxtalks.com, everything's there. Our schedule, are we going live, when we do stuff, events that are coming up. Everything's on there. If you want to know when something is, it should be on the schedule. Or guess what? There's a staff page. Email the staff. If you got questions, email them. Go at the very, very bottom. There's one that says staff. Click on it. It's got a picture. It's got their job. It's got their email right on there. You can ask them what we're doing. But we have two things coming up. One is I'm supposed to go cowboy dancing. I don't know if I can do that. I'm still a big fat white guy, but I'm going cowboy dancing, going to do that. We'll set up all the cameras, we'll film it. I don't know that we'll live stream it. I don't know that that's possible. It's not always a good idea. Unless you have a person narrating, talking. You can't just point cameras and have people looking on what you're doing. We've tried that a couple times on our big barbecues. It just doesn't go over well without someone walking around with a microphone talking about what's going on. It doesn't come across that well. So I don't know that we'll live stream, but I got to do some cowboy dancing. Little Miss Hot and Nerdy set that up. She's bringing along, what's his name? Oh yeah, Ben Matlock, never lost a case. I'm still haven't confirmed if the Sun Valley Fox and St. Donna are going. I'm trying. it doesn't look like the motions of the dancing would be beyond the warranty of his new hip. If it is, if he's got a clause in there that said, no, you violate the warranty of your brand new hip, and all warranties are worried. If you dance this in this fashion, then you can't go. But I got to go. Gen X Mom wants to go. Little Miss Hot and Nerdy wants to go. Also, it's kind of a thing that's kind of in the background that nobody knows about. Shock to the world, I'm not a golfer. I'm not even a bad golfer. That's how horrible I am. It's not like I'm a golfer and I'm bad at it. No. I'm not a golfer at all because I hate it. Ever since my dad tried to teach me how to golf, and he tried several times, I don't like how you hold the club. I don't know why you can't just Happy Gilmore your way through golfing. I don't get that. Why does it got to be a weird, stupid grip? They don't, there's not one for baseball. There's not a super strange grip. It's not super strange in hockey. It's kind of normal. I mean, there's ways to hold it, and they teach you, but it's not that far off from what you would normally do anyway. Golf is. It's almost like with golf, they want to say, everyone could be really good at the sport, but we're going to force you to hold the club in such a way that it's almost not worth doing. And for those of you that do suffer through this new grip, you'll be fine, and then you can play golf and be famous, and everyone will love you. All right, well, I never became that guy. I don't know all the terminology. I know some of it. But Ben Matlock, never lost a case, has a group of guys that he golfs with. We're in a chat room together. We have a little chat thread, and I make fun of all of them with little golfing videos. I customize golfing videos and put them out there and tease them all the time. But Ben says I should go with him, even if I'm just observing at first. Now, see, observing would be fun. I will film and make fun of all of you guys. No problem at all. That's easy. I'm very good at criticizing and making fun of people. Not so good at actually rising to the occasion and swinging the sticks and making the ball go in the hole. Not so good at that. But I kind of got a feeling if I go once with them that they'll try to get me to, let's go to the driving range. Let's see if you know how to putt. I know how to putt. Everybody knows how to putt. Everybody's played miniature golf. I can putt like a mofo. All right? I'm good at that part. I got it, but I can't do the other stuff. But those are things to look forward to. They're coming up. I got to go do them. I promised I would, and I'm going to go. Speaking of bouncing around topics, speaking of Gen X Mom being sick, Dr. McDreamy did give her some medicine, and I went and picked it up at Walgreens. Did you know that when you call Walgreens, I was on hold for 59 minutes? I was on hold for 59. I just let the phone sit here. I was working. I let the phone just go. See, how long is this going to take? It was 59 minutes before someone picked up the phone and told me that her prescription was ready. And even while as I was driving over there, I was checking the app and it said, no, prescription not ready. That's how on top of things Walgreens is. But here's something that I don't know if you guys knew, and I don't know if it works anywhere else, because I really don't know anywhere else that you could possibly be on hold for 59 minutes. All right? I don't know. Walgreens, maybe the DMV. I don't know. Where else would you be willing to sit on hold for 59 minutes? Okay? I wouldn't sit on hold for 59 minutes even if I was waiting for an afternoon slot at the Mustang Ranch. I still wouldn't do it. Not worth it. You can turn off the on-hold music. Did you know that? Not like on your phone. You can't, if you turn down your phone, you won't hear them when they say hello. Did you know that they have an option in the middle of talking like, still a long ways away, your caller number 3, please be patient and wait for us. And then about every 13th message comes across and says, by the way, if you want to turn off your on-hold music, you can press 2 and the on-hold music will go away. Now, there's sometimes I think that might be okay, but why would I turn off the on-hold music? I don't know if anybody's still there. I don't know if I'm still connected. I think I'd be inclined to be like, hello, tap, 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 tap. How do I know? I have to wait for the next time the automatic message would come through to tell me I'm still on hold. But I just thought that was unique. Didn't know if you guys knew that or not. You're allowed to turn off the on-hold music. Things you learn. Here's another one for you guys. With modern cars, you can't always tell if a cop's coming up behind you. Did you know that? And I know most of you are thinking, well, what is that? How could you ever tell? But as kids, we could. If you're the same age as me, same age as Dr. McDreamy, same age as some of us in this age bracket, we had a trick at nighttime when a cop would come up behind us. let's say you're traveling down a road in Los Angeles and there's 50 cars behind you, or you're traveling on a freeway, 50 cars behind you, and you look in your rearview mirror, I could tell you if there was a cop coming up, and all I could see was headlights. Anybody know why? Anybody have a clue why? How would I know? How would I know the difference? How did all of us in Generation X know the difference of a car coming up behind you if it was a cop car or not? Yeah, I'll tell you. Their headlights were straight. They were even. And hardly anybody else's ever were. Back in the day when I was driving in the 80s, we weren't driving new cars, we were driving cars from the 70s or the 60s. And the way they all were, they had round headlights. You guys know that there was a time when all headlights had to be the same size, round, and the same height from the ground. I think it was like 23 inches or something, whatever the measurement was, had to be this high off the ground, had to be the same round headlights, every car, every make, every model. Once they changed that, and they did start changing it around 80 or 81, I think, because then they went to square and rectangle headlights. They started getting away with, they were allowed to do more. But still, even by the mid-80s, 85 or so, most of the cars that, were older, even the cop cars were, 5, 6, 8 years old. But they would always come, they were held in place. Headlights used to be held in place by springs and an adjusting screw. A spring would hold it tight into its location, and you could adjust it and point it up, point it down. You'd run the screw in, run the screw out for up, run the screw in, run the screw out for side to side. And you would park your car, back it up, head it up against a wall or a garage door, and you get about 10 or 15 feet back, and you turn your headlights. And you could adjust your headlights at home and point them evenly where they're supposed to go. Why? Because they always were out of adjustment. Bouncing down the road, within 20 miles, they're always a little bit off. So every car behind you, when you look in your rearview mirror, the headlights weren't perfect. And you could see it clear as day. It wasn't hard to tell. Except for a cop car, because same thing with cops. They knew that, and they went through every 30 days. They had all their headlights adjusted, change their oil, do their tune-ups, make sure all their seatbelt works, make sure all their lights work, and they adjusted their headlights. So as a kid, you learn real quick when cars are coming up behind you, if there's one with perfect headlights, chances are it's a cop. Could be a new car, but chances are it was a cop every time. Because even the newer ones, when they went to rectangle headlights and stuff, before they got, permanently put in place like they are now, those still came out of adjustment too. Yeah, that's a trick back in the day. That's something you learn early as a kid. You can look in the rearview mirror. So headline here is cops had perfectly even headlights back in the day. Again, this is useful information if you ever do time travel back to that time and you don't want to get a ticket. That's how you do it. You got to pay attention. All right? Good stuff there. You're welcome, America. Gave you that one for free. And Denmark. Butterfinger, Reno PD text. Come on, I wrote some stuff down. I know a story I was going to share with you guys. This is dumb. I had to go verify this was a real story because I'm telling you, sometimes you walk into a Walmart thinking you're just going to go grab a couple things. Your day's going to be happy and cheery. And sometimes you walk out of that Walmart and you're just shaking your head thinking there is no hope for humanity after what you see in a Walmart. Not so much where I live, but where I used to live. Up here, I like it. I love being up here. Walmart up here, a whole different style of person. Nobody's in their pajamas, for one. Right? Nobody making a big scene and screaming about, how they didn't get their way. But I've been there. I've been to those Walmarts. I lived near one of those Walmarts for many, many years, not up here. But in this case, it was the same feeling. I had to question my hope for humanity. This woman in Ohio was breaking into people's houses and cleaning. You heard me right. She breaks into the houses. She cleans the house. She tidies up. She's doing laundry. She's stacking things, she's vacuuming, she's dusting, she's emptying ashtrays and trash cans, she's wiping down all the counters. Then she leaves a bill. Hey, if you liked my services, please pay me $200 or whatever she does. And here's my phone number. If you'd like me to come back and do this again, I'd be more than happy to clean your house for you. Please look at what a good job I did. And then she does it again to another house. Breaks in, cleans the house. Wasn't stealing anything, the article, I read the entire article. In fact, I read 2 different stories on this. It didn't appear that what I read, she stole anything. She literally thought this, in her mind, it was like going up into a driveway and washing someone's car for free and leaving a business card under the wiper saying, hey, did you notice how clean your car was? I did that. Which you still shouldn't do. But that's how she thought of it. And so the cops clearly had no problem finding her very quickly. Like within the first week and 15 houses, they're like, you can't do this. She's like, I didn't take anything. I didn't steal anything. I cleaned. What's my crime? Oh, I don't know. Breaking and entering? Well, I don't see what you guys have a problem with. Oh, I don't know. Invading someone's privacy? A little creepy, don't you think? Yeah, she did that. I just look at people and go, how do you not have the common sense to know that's not okay? And I'm not even talking about, I bitch and complain that I see people going into grocery stores where I used to live in Southern California in their pajamas. There was kids that would go to school in their pajamas with their hair done, no makeup. They're dragging out. I mean, just look sloppy as can be. My girls started to try to do that in junior high, and I stopped it right away. And I said, you represent this family in our name when you go out there. Well, Dad, everyone's doing it. I don't give a shit. What do you tell them as parents? Those aren't everyone's kids. Those are my kids walking out my front door. I'm not everyone's parent. I'm your parent. I don't care what everybody else is doing. My kids were not allowed to do that. And culturally, people would say, well, it's okay to do it now. Just like, do you remember going on airplanes 40 years ago, 50 years ago, 30 years ago even? You dressed up. There was even a time when you wore a suit and ladies wore dresses and you got your makeup done, And flying was an experience, and there was meals, and there was the culture to it was very executive, and it was like going to church. You cleaned up. Not anymore. And people get on there with their flip-flops and their shorts that have no boxers, and they got one ball hanging out one side, and they're just coming back from Cancun, and I'm just going to take my seat, and I smell, and I'm doused in beer, and I'm just going to come home. It's like, that is not, I guess, culturally, like everyone's doing it. I don't care. This is what I do. It's okay to do it. Yeah, well, it wasn't. I point out you're part of that society. You want to see mine over here? This is what my airport airline flying experience was back in my day. My society. Nothing like yours. But that's what they do. They say it's culturally different now, so it's culturally okay. And then people get to go into grocery stores that way. People break into houses to clean and think it's culturally, this is the times we live in. It's okay now to do that. No, it's not. It's not even a little bit okay. It's not even close to being okay. I don't know. Times are changing. I had a friend of mine call me, and he's all upset. He still lives in Southern California, and he's pissed. This is gonna make Sun Valley Fox spin his head in a circle. Sun Valley Fox is really good at, see what I'm doing here on camera? Head in a circle, like, what? Does Scooby-Doo, row, what? Yeah, he does that. This will make him do that. This may make some of you do that. A friend of mine calls me from California, says, you're not going to believe what they're doing down here. I said, who? He goes, the government. I said, like, the state? He goes, yeah, I think it's a state thing. Or maybe it's an LA County thing. I don't know. He goes, but it's pissing me off. I go, what? Soon, it looks like, you're going to have a license to surf in California. Yeah. I don't know how they're selling this. Normally, Gavin Newsom and his cronies, they come up, what's the famous thing for Democrats and liberals to always put on people? Well, it's safety. We're doing this for safety. We have to pass new laws for safety. We're going to save someone by doing this. We're going to have to worry about. It's for the children. It's for the old. It's safety. Everything they sell it, whatever they want to do, all they have to do is come out and go, well, it's for safety. We're doing this for the public safety. Famous. Those are used for everything. But what do you say? How do you sell this and go, well, there's way too many surfboard accidents where you're losing an eye. Someone got their eye poked out. with a surfboard. We have to do something. So you're going to have a class. Yeah. You're going to have a class. You can take a surf. Let's make sure you know how to surf. We'll get you a little certificate that you know how to surf, and then we'll charge you for a license. You can begin surfing, but only in certain places. And if you surf in the wrong place, according to your license, you're going to get a penalty. You're going to get a fine. But you can pay more and then surf wherever you want. Okay? But you can't surf late. If you're surfing too early or too late, we're going to fine you for that too. Got to watch out. The dangerous surfers out there. I don't know how they're going to sell that, but he was pissed. It's not all worked out yet, but it's coming. I don't know how all that's going to pan out, but I guess like everything else, you're going to have to take a class. You're going to have to get certified. You're going to have a little certificate. Take your certificate down to the county office, and we will begin charging you. What if they charge you by how much you surf? What if one day there's a mileage tax on your surfing? Well, you've been surfing you caught 34 curls in one day. You were shooting the tube 34 times in one day. You know that your limit was 12. You know that. Come on now. Let's get your ATM card out here. I just can't believe that's even a conversation. And here we are. And you wonder why time travelers don't want to stop in this time and hang out. And you wonder why they come and they go, wait a minute, whoa. It's culturally okay to wear your underwear and smell like Coronas when you get on an airplane. It's okay to have 10 screaming kids in a grocery store and you just slapping everybody and screaming that it's everyone else's fault and not yours. Why would time travelers want to stop here? For what? Now, I can see them wanting to stop in northern Nevada because we're all wonderful out here. Just ask us, we'll tell you. Well, except for the one lady at Powell, don't go there. But if time travelers are coming back in time or forward in time to 2026, they should stop here. That's what I'm saying. Should stop right here in northern Nevada and hang out in Minden or Gardnerville or Dayton, Carson City too. Some parts of Reno are acceptable, I would say. Yeah. So you guys are talking about Reno. You guys know that we have a studio that in town there where we do the interviews. We did Joe Zelatel. I kept saying his right. We also did Sun Valley Fox Part 1 and The Fight Doctor Part 3. Now, you guys are chomping at the bit for these, but you really want The Fight Doctor one. I know, everybody does. We're going to put that up on KGXT Radio. It'll start dropping every Sunday at 4 o'clock. Every Sunday, 4 o'clock, KGXT Radio. It'll play. The Fight Doctor interview will play. And then after it runs its course for a month, then we'll take it off. We'll put it up where you guys can catch it. Yes, all of these interviews, we did film them also. So when it comes time, you guys can all see. You can watch along. You got me? It's a good thing in there. You guys will have it your way. But we are putting it up on the radio station first. It does for a couple things. It really helps us boost the numbers on the radio station. The other one is that what it does is it lets everybody who wants to hear it as close to live as you can. If you don't want to wait, you set your alarm and you listen to it on the radio. Then you can come back and watch it later. Yeah, we get you twice, coming and going. It's all free either way. We don't make any money on it, but it just keeps everybody interested, as they say. I just thought of something. I did have a complaint about the one person that I didn't get along with in northern Nevada, but technically there's two. Yeah? Now, this one's a little different, because I don't have a direct contact with this person. How can you rub someone the wrong way if you're not talking to them, if you don't speak to them? Well, I'll tell you. Jenix mom gets her nails done. I think it's in Gardnerville. I don't remember the girl's name. Starts with an A. She was at the barbecue. Forgive me. We get along okay. But if I talk a little smack, like, why'd you pay so much for your nails? They look funny. They got a weird glow. They're did you use nuclear waste? Because they glow and their fingernails glow in the dark. There's something weird going on. I just, if I talk a little trash, you know what I noticed? If I talk a little smack about Gen X Mom's nail lady, her nails come back the next time sharper. Let's not get into all the ways I know they're sharper, but they are, and they hurt. If we're driving in the truck and Gen X Mom gently caresses my arm, it cuts. And I've grabbed her hands and her nails and I've looked. They look round. They don't feel super sharp. When I take my fingers and my thumbs and I'm inspecting, I'm like, God damn, that hurts. What was it? I can't tell. But then all of a sudden, she's dragging her hand across my skin and it hurts. It cuts. It's sharp. And she's not pressing hard. So I let it go. Month goes by. Talk a little smack again about the nail lady. Whatever I say. And the next time she comes back, a little sharper. I'm not sure what to do about this other than I need to learn to keep my big mouth shut. That's first. My grandpa always used to tell me, your big mouth is going to get you in more trouble. All right? That's one. But I don't know how to fix that. It is weird. I can examine them. I can't tell what hurts, but it does, and you feel it, especially if she pokes you. If she just, Jen's mom come by and just, boop, straight on, that hurts. That feels sharp, like you got stabbed with a pencil. But then you grab the finger and look and go, God, what hurt right there? Nothing there. Is that common? Can I look in the comment section? Is that common? Do girls do that? Let's see. Spot says it's a Dremel tool. I don't know if she's making it sharper. I don't know. I don't know what she's doing. She probably has a grinder in there, and she's doing. I'm just looking to see if that's a deal. I'm looking to see if that's even a thing. Girls in the lowercase in there, maybe she would know. There's some girls or guys in there might know about their girls. Is that a real thing? All right. No one's answering me right now. I don't see any. There's some people texting. I know you guys are a little bit behind me in there. No. I guess it's just me. I guess it's just me in the situation I'm in. There's nobody's got a real answer for me in there, but I'm just saying that was kind of a thing to be concerned about. All right, let's see. Did I cover everything? I was waiting for the Sun Valley Fox to answer my text. He never did. I'm going to look in here and see if I can't get it right here. Look, double check. Two Barrett said 5x5. Home Depot sent me a message. There it is. Yes, it is. So Phil's Barbecue and Catering Business is Carson City Barbecue. We got them on board. For those of you coming out for the big barbecue this summer, we're doing a little different. We're not going to be flipping burgers. No one has to waste time and miss the barbecue because they're feeding everybody. We got Carson City, I guess it's a pit barbecue coming in. They're going to bring all their gear in. They're feeding everybody for the whole time. This is going to be a lot of fun. We can enjoy ourselves in there. But Phil also asked us to show up at one of their events. They're doing some sort of a cook-off, and we get to go. I don't know if we're participating or if we're just coming as a guest, but it was so kind of him to ask us to go do that. So I want to go do that. Reno PD, as we talked about, they want us at some of their events. That's going to be a good thing. And I got to tell you, one of the biggest things that everyone's looking forward to, seems silly, going to sound silly, this week-long thing in July, the genxtalks, it's Mayhem in Minden, round 2, July 19th through the 26th. In and around Minden and Reno, in that area, there's so many events going on, but one of the ones everyone's looking forward to is we're going to have, it's set up right now. It's a taco eating contest. I think that's still on. But then we're going over to Glory Cloud Coffee, and they got a big facility. We're all going to go have, Sahara H is going to freshly bake some of the most exquisite desserts you guys have ever tasted. Glory Cloud Coffee has all the coffee, all the teas, the hot chocolates there, and we're doing a bingo night. One thing you guys are all looking forward to that, but something you guys don't know. All right? You guys know the cast of characters in Gen X Talks. You know myself and the kid. You know Gen X Mom. You guys know Iceman from Bodfish and the Sun Valley Fox and Dr. McDreamy. You guys know the players. You guys know the names when we bring them up and we talk about them. Do you know there's one coming that may take you guys by storm? We've talked a little bit about Scott and Darla with Glory Cloud Coffee. We did an interview with them. Remember that? Okay. Scott has got to be one of the coolest characters out there, and you guys just don't know. And I'm going to give you a teaser right now. I'm going to give you a teaser right this second. We have this, we do some interviews down in Reno. We do some stuff, and we all get done, and we head over to Daddy's Tacos. Big Mike Perkins showed up. Sun Valley Fox and St. Donna showed up. Dr. McDreamy, MarcyDevala.com, Scott and Darla, his wife Darla from Glory Cloud Coffee, they were there. Little Miss Hot and Nerdy, she showed up too. Of course, Gen X Mom and I were there. And when Scott shows up, he shows up a little bit late. He walks in, black shoes, black socks, black shorts, a black sleeveless T-shirt like he just got done at the gym, and a full Batman mask. No, not just a mask like you did in Halloween in the 70s that was on the front of your face with a big goofy smile. No. Full-blown hood down to his shoulders, front and back, ears straight up, walking in to the whole restaurant. I'm Batman. I don't know, your sporting Batman, your muscle Batman at the gym, maybe that guy walks in that way, gives Gen X Mom a big hug and just, yoked out for a dude who's like 60 years old. The fucking guy's yoked. That's the way he walked in, and then sat down and just hung out with everybody because he fits in with all of us. And I haven't barely even introduced you to this guy yet. I haven't even got him on camera. I haven't done an interview with him. We haven't even gone down. And this guy is a crazy cat with the stuff he talks about. Because this guy will tell you he can solve the questions of religion and politics and science. He probably has the scientific version of time travel ready to go. Probably has it down. He's waiting for me to ask. I'm telling you, this guy, in the cast of characters, there is a new character coming along that you won't believe. You know what I want to do right now? I want to rub my eye so bad. I got an itch in my left eye. And you know why I won't? You know, it's straining me right now. It itches so bad. But something you don't know about me, if I rub my eye, it'll squeak so loud you guys will hear it. If you guys are listening with headphones, if I rub my eye right now, you guys would pull the headphones out of your ears. I would have to drop down the volume. I don't know why. I was going to ask Dr. McDreamy why my eye squeaks, but he'd just tell me to shut up and move on. It's embarrassing. I'm telling you, for those of you that have been around me before, if I rub my eye will squeak like you won't believe. And I can't stop it from doing it. I've tried. I cannot make it not. I tried rubbing my eye slow, rub my eye fast, do it quick, get out of the way, turn my head, look back. Can't do it. I cannot do it. Look, I don't know why it does that. I'm just letting you guys know it does that. You guys can't be mad at me for trying to do my thing there. Anyway, so I don't know. We'll talk about that. All right, listen, I'm coming to the end of the podcast. I was thinking, did I write down a note? Sometimes I think of a car story and I write down a note. I don't know that I did this time. Look, let's just scroll down. I don't think I wrote down a car story. No, I didn't. We're still heading to California, but we're to take care of we got some business down there, but I'm waiting for this next storm to pass. I don't want to try to go over the pass with a trailer, and I don't want to be in the middle of a snowstorm with a truck on my trailer, pulling by my truck. I don't think that's smart. I got to wait for a break in the weather, and then I'll head down there. But that means if we get a week of snow up here, you guys get more content. We're snowed in, can't go anywhere. Might as well sit in the studio and create. Listen, do me a favor, and I'm going to try to remember to mention this. All of you guys that are listening, whether you're listening live on KGXT Radio or you're listening after it drops on Friday, do us a favor. Can you tell somebody? Somebody that you think might like the podcast. It's really hard to reach new people. But, you know, we have a pretty good base of people that listen every week. If you guys could just tell a friend and say, listen, do me a favor, just tell them, pick a good episode you guys really like, okay? Maybe not this one because there's no Gen X Mom. No. Maybe pick one, the last 2 or 3. Those are pretty good. And just say, go listen to 3. Tell them to give it 3 episodes. If they don't like it, they're done. But if they give it 3, maybe they might consider sticking around. That's all I'm saying is ask. We kind of rely on you guys. We don't rent billboards in town. You know, we put it out there when the podcast is going to begin. Like, hey, the podcast is coming up soon. But we never go out there and put up something on social media and go, well, everybody, new people, you should listen in. We really kind of hope you guys can do some of that for us. If you guys like it, if you guys want to talk about that, if you could just, it'd be great if you sent it to 10 people. But if you could just send it to 1. Just every week, that was really good. Send it to 1. Some people will find it fun and entertaining. Some won't. That's okay. But it's hard for us to get out there. So if you could just do that for us. If you guys are friends of the program, you've been around a long time, you know who your friends are that you might find this interesting. You guys know what's going on. All right. So we did press record on all fronts. Looks like everything was going where it's supposed to. I've gone through what small notes I have, and just as a point of reference, Gen X Mom did lean in the studio. She actually stood in the doorway and was leaning against the doorway. I glanced over one time, and she had her head on the doorframe, but her eyes were closed. So I don't think she wanted to talk. I know Briggs was chiming in the chat room that he wanted me to call him, but I'm not going to participate in getting him fired. I'm not going to participate in getting him thrown off the job because I called him. May call him next week, but we'll see how that thing goes. Anyway, so now you guys know Look at that, Papa Smurf. Talking to Gen Z kid, have you always been ignored like this? Yeah, and guess what, Papa Smurf? I'm ignoring you too. So how's that feel? Just right in line with the kids. That's family for you. All right, listen, I got to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for listening along. Not sure where you're chiming in from around the planet. AM, FM, Sirius XM. Well, perhaps you listened in on the Armed Service Radio Network. Thanks for putting up with me for 1 hour, 19 minutes, and 55 seconds. We do appreciate it. Remember two things in life, wherever you're listening in from. Number one, wherever you go, well, there you are. Just look down. You can tell. Number two, I'll catch you guys on the flip side. I'm out. I got to go. That's it. Get out. Goodbye. What are you still here for? Go.